Welcome to this edition of Action Video Game Talk. I'm your host, Scott Action Jackson. Thanks for joining us. And once again, like usual, we have a whole lot of video game news, so let's just get right into it. A new Final Fantasy game subtitled Explorers is coming to Japan, but a recent trademark filing hints that the game may be heading to the United States too. The game was recently unveiled in the Japanese magazine Jump. It's a 3DS action title where players team up in a group of 4 to travel the world fighting enemies and searching for crystals, which sounds similar to the GameCube game Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. The US trademark for Explorers was spotted by Nintendo Everything, and it hints that the game could be coming to Europe as well. So this little bit of news right here more or less tells us that this Final Fantasy Explorers is going to be coming to the US, and also Europe as well, along with Japan first. Once again, like it says right here, it looks similar to the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which to me isn't the best Final Fantasy game out there. It's one of the worst, but then again, that's just my opinion. Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto says that support for 2 Wii U gamepads is possible, but not a current priority for the company. In an interview with IGN, Miyamoto said, "Certainly we've been working on Wii U. I think we're at a point where we don't feel it's realistic to expect people to purchase 2 gamepads yet. We're still trying to get as many people as possible to buy the system itself. And that's where our focus is right now. For the time being, 2 gamepad gameplay is not within our objectives in the short term." However, he did stress that his decision is not because of technical constraints. From a technical standpoint, I think if we decide to pursue that, technically we would be able to, and we can perform system updates that would allow for that. Now, the issue with this little article is that the Nintendo Wii U could use 2 gamepads, but the biggest problem there is actually having them for sale in the US separately from the system. From what I remember hearing, over in Japan, the gamepads themselves cost the same price as the system. So I don't know if that's something that Nintendo wants to try here in the US, but I heard over there in Japan they are doing that. Following the footsteps of PC gaming, the PlayStation 4 is now allowing players to preload their pre-ordered games onto their consoles. This will allow the game to download on the system and be unlocked when the game is officially released for instant play. Some of the games currently available for pre-order and preload include Battlefield Hardline, Bloodborne, Destiny, Far Cry 4, and Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. The rest of the games available for preload can be found on the PlayStation blog. In addition, any title pre-ordered on or after May 20th will be available to preload as well. Transformers: Rise of the Dark Spark is set to release on June 24th, will be the first game to utilize the new feature. I don't know how I feel about this. Apparently this preloading before the game release is something that's been going on with PC gaming. I don't know. The only thing this reminds me of is how some of the 360 games were able to actually download onto the hard drive to help you play. This itself is... I think this can be handy for people who pre-order and want to play their game as soon as it comes out. But then again, if they're doing this for the PlayStation 4, you gotta wonder how much gigabyte the games are gonna burn up. I mean, a game like Destiny, Far Cry 4, and even Battlefield Hardline. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the 50 gigabyte range. Announced back in April, The Last of Us Remastered was announced with a $60 price tag. That price has since come down, and Sony is giving the difference back to those who have already prepaid for the game online. The fine print on the PlayStation Network says that pre-orders cannot be cancelled, nor can returns be transacted. Despite this, however, VP of Publisher and Developer Relations at Sony, Adam Boyes, has responded to inquiry on Twitter saying that the money will be returned to those early adopters. Now, once in a while this happens where you pay the full price when you pre-order a game, and later on, they reduce the price of it. But with this, for people who have pre-ordered it and got it early, they are getting their money back. Now, it is Sony, PlayStation. They do have more than enough money to give some back to the customers who, paid the full price when it was first available. But the little head scratcher part here is, why was the price lowered on The Last of Us? Infamous Second Son's upcoming DLC, First Light, has a release date, and it's not too far off. First Light, which stars Fetch, the conduit with neon powers from the game, will be available on August 26 according to its listing on the PlayStation Network. The DLC was announced during E3, but was light on details. We know it stars Fetch, and involves her reliving her past while imprisoned for her powers. We also know it is standalone, meaning you won't need a copy of Infamous Second Son to play it, much like the Infamous 2's DLC Festival of Blood. So this bit of news doesn't really help that much. I mean, it does give us an actual date for the First Light DLC, but the other stuff we already know about, that it's, a standalone DLC that's about Fetch. But yeah, it's nice to know that the DLC is coming out a lot sooner than we expected, August 26. Starting on July 1st, the entire month's worth of PlayStation Plus Instant Game Collection titles will be available for download. As previously mentioned, the format is changing, and each of Sony's 3 platforms will be getting 2 titles. The 6 entries offer a diverse swath of gaming, including single-player action experiences, co-op horror, and competitive arrow slinging. Here's what you can nab when the store updates next Tuesday. PlayStation 4, Strider, Towerfall Ascension. PlayStation 3, Dead Space 3, Vessel. The Vita, Muramasa Rebirth, Doki Doki Universe. All 6 titles will be available without additional cost to PlayStation Plus members until the store refreshes on the first Tuesday in August. Make sure to lock in your licenses for them next week. So, Sony is doing their PlayStation Plus membership differently now with the free games. They're doing 2 for PlayStation 4, 2 for PS3, and 2 for Vita. Now, this still does make it better than the games with gold membership that they got over on Xbox. They just get like 1 or 2 games each month. But yeah, this kind of shrinks it down to their level. I mean, it was nice when they were, doing maybe 6 or 8 games for the full month with the PlayStation Plus membership, which hopefully they will do again, because people probably won't like this, the number of games being reduced for PlayStation Plus membership. But on the plus side, all these games are going to be available at the start of the month, the very first Tuesday of the month. Legendary Pictures is creating a movie based on Capcom's Dead Rising franchise, which will release first on Sony's video-on-demand service Crackle. Variety reports that the film will be produced by Lorenzo di Bonaventura, who had a hand in creating the blockbuster Transformer film franchise. In partnership with Contradiction Films, which did the Mortal Kombat Legacy digital series, the Dead Rising film will later be released on physical formats and other video-on-demand services, but will premiere on Crackle. Dead Rising has a built-in fan base and rich characters and plotlines that are ideal for digital storytelling and on target for Legendary's brand, said Legendary Digital Chief Tom Leskinski. Crackle and Content are adept at distributing cutting-edge digital content, and we look forward to delivering a highly engaging and cool series for a global audience. So, on the last episode, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie was brought up, and now, on this one, there's apparently a Dead Rising movie coming up. But apparently it's going to be a digital movie for some odd reason, which is going to be coming to Sony's on-demand service Crackle, coming there first. Which, I mean, for a movie like this, you want to put it in the movie theaters. I mean, it's going to be Legendary Pictures creating it, so you want to put it in the theaters first, and then after that, maybe on the video on demand service. But I don't know, I mean, I like the idea of a Dead Rising movie or a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Microsoft has announced a bevy of new skins coming to the Xbox 360 version of Minecraft. The upcoming set pulls from Killer Instinct, Trials, and Mirror's Edge. The pack, which is yet undated, features 6 blocky skins from Killer Instinct, 2 from Trials Racers are also representative. The big surprise, as announced by the Mirror's Edge official Twitter account, is that Faith will also be included in the new set. Now, I like when they do these little character skins from different video game franchises for Minecraft. What I don't like is when it's only one system specific. I mean, I could see it with the Killer Instinct skins for the Xbox 360 version. Actually, no, I don't. I don't understand that. Because the Killer Instinct game is on Xbox One, not Xbox 360. I mean, these other characters like the Trials and the Mirror's Edge, they could be for the Minecraft on the PS3. And heck, all these characters, skins that they announced can be brought over to the next generation one too. Last month, Kinect announced that the Xbox One console would be available with or without Kinect. According to Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, that shouldn't be taken as a sign that the company has lost faith in the device. According to Spencer, consumers love Kinect, and they'll buy it one way or another. Spencer spoke of the company's continued interest in Kinect in an interview with Games Industry International. According to Spencer, people have used Kinect's voice commands more than 1 billion times. And because people are continuing to use it, it's an area we're going to continue to invest in terms of making the experience better, he continues. And I think that makes building games in that environment even better. Consumers love the device. They love the experience. They'll buy it. They'll either pick it up at launch when they buy their console, or they'll be able to buy it after the $399 console. They'll pick it up and add it on later. And they'll continue to make sure that experience is great. The Xbox One version of Kinect will be available as a standalone product sometime this fall, though Microsoft has yet to talk specifics on pricing or release date. Removing the device allowed the company to shave $100 off retail, so it wouldn't be surprising to see it sell around that price. Oh, I can't believe this idiot. So the head of Xbox says that consumers love Kinect. Don't you mean customers who buy your products? Last I checked, you had to drop the Kinect for more people to buy your system. They don't love it if they want to get that instead. I mean, an actual gamer isn't going to be interested in the Kinect. An actual gamer just wants to turn the system on and play a game, not talk to a little itty-bitty box that's watching them all the time. NECA, which previously handled Portal guns as well as Borderlands and Diablo action figures, has recently unveiled its newest project, a fully functional motorcycle helmet that Master Chief himself would appreciate. The models of the Mark VI style helmet don't show any color yet, but if they're any representation of what the final product will look like, don't be surprised to see 1 or 2 of these on the road come 2015. The models are meticulously detailed, with final product to feature a fully functional visor. Now, I actually like this. I mean, an actual Master Chief style helmet that's more or less a motorcycle helmet. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be buying this that are Halo fans. Although I wonder if they would even try making some of the other Halo helmets from other Spartans. War never changes. But in this case, it left for a while and came back. In January, publishing rights for classic Fallout games transferred from Interplay to Bethesda. At that time, the titles were removed from GOG and Steam. Now, Fallout 2, and Fallout Tactics are available once more on Steam. You can pick each up for $9.99. All 3 titles support Steam Cloud saves. Fallout and Fallout 2 both have a classic and default version. The latter offers higher resolutions, Fallout Tactics continues to offer multiplayer via direct Kinect options, which means you can play with those who own the game via other services. Note that Fallout Tactics don't run on Windows 8. The other two titles work just fine on Microsoft's latest operating system. So, originally these Fallout games were under Interplay, and then Bethesda got them. But now, all three of these are back on Steam for people to get. I mean, as long as people are actually able to play these older games, it's great. I mean, there are lots of old games that nobody will be able to play on Steam, but some people will probably have to, like, pirate them or whatever. Rockstar has announced that the latest Grand Theft Auto Online update is now available for download. The ironically titled I'm Not a Hipster update adds new character options, jobs, and features. You might want to go get it while it's still cool. The update includes a slew of new character customization options, including a dozen new beard styles, skinny jeans, and retro-style clothing. There are also a number of previously existing but not for sale cars available for purchase, like Franklin's Bravado Buffalo S and Michael's Obey Trailblazer. Players who've reached rank 100 can let the world know by painting their colors gold, or by purchasing an all-new 6-wheeled Dubsta. One notable fix is that players will no longer be able to take advantage of a gate glitch to make their cars rocket into the sky. Oh well. Now, I did actually try to jump back onto Grand Theft Auto Online. I did see some of this clothing stuff is available to actually just, change in your apartment that you have on there. But I'm guessing this little update is just like a bunch of 80s stuff. Now, I didn't get around to checking, the cars and actual beards and stuff, because once I got back onto online, I heard all those weird kids trying to sound gangster. We were all excited for the new content of the I'm Not a Hipster update for Grand Theft Auto Online, but we couldn't help but notice the lack of promised heists. Rockstar has responded, adding an ultimatum to its recent post detailing the I'm Not a Hipster update. Rockstar offered the following statement. For those of you asking about other upcoming GTA Online updates, we have lots more in store coming your way soon. We know many fans have been eagerly awaiting the release of the online heists that we had planned to release for you this spring, and they are taking some time to create than originally anticipated. We are very sorry for the delay and are working hard to bring them to you as soon as we can. Please know that we are focused as always on making the best possible content for you to play, and we are thankful to you all for your patience, understanding, and support. Stay tuned for more information on that, as well as lots of other ongoing content updates, enhancements, and additions to the world of Grand Theft Auto Online that are on the way. Well, yeah, Rockstar should be apologizing for this. I mean, they should have had this stuff planned around the time that it launched. I mean, people have been wanting online heists, and they've been saying, back in the spring they were supposed to release it. Plus, they should have it where you can actually do separate online servers where you can actually join up in your own online session with your friends, so you don't have to worry about these other people that are playing blaring out loud music and swearing all over the place. It is only now 10 months after its release that we realize just how much add-on content has been released for Saints Row 4. Deep Silver is getting ready to release a complete edition called the National Treasure Edition. The new collection features the game and all 29 pieces of add-on content. This includes weapons, weapon costumes, outfits, vehicles, activities, superpower elements, homies, and Enter the Dominatrix and How the Saints Save Christmas mission packs. Saints Row 4 National Treasure Edition will ship to retailers on July 8th. The game doesn't seem to be street dated, as Deep Silver says it should be on shelves by mid-July. This indicates that your local store will have it on the shelves as soon as it arrives. It will also be available digitally. Both formats will retail for $29.99. Now, they did do this with the previous Saints Row, the third game, and it is nice that they're doing these, like, I guess you could say, complete editions of video games where it includes all the downloadable content. Of course, the only problem is if they decide later on to maybe just add additional, I guess, costume or car. But with this, you're gonna have everything that you need right there, and it's got a nice price of $29.99. I mean, is that how much the what was it called, the complete edition for Saints Row the Third cost? This National Treasure Edition should be coming out really soon. I mean, it says shipped to retailers on July 8th, so it'll be, what, maybe early July? Executive producer Zach Braff has pulled together a panoply of video game personalities to explore the history of our favorite hobby, video games the movie. Directed by newcomer Jeremy Sned, documents the trajectory of the industry from the oldest standalone home units through the arcade era and into the modern generation. In addition to exploring where we've been, personalities including Will Wheaton, Chris Hardwick, Cliff Borinsky, and Alison Helleslick discuss where the medium is heading. Narrated by Sean Astin, Video Games the Movie will be out in select theaters beginning July 25th. Now, I like this idea to have an actual documentary about the history of video games. They should have done this a while back. The only major issue with this bit of news is that it's going to be in selected theaters. Selected, that's not something that everyone wants to hear. Of course, video games is just about everybody's hobby that is an actual gamer. I know my first experiences with video games is probably as far back as maybe, well, let's say the arcade. The earliest is maybe the Space Invaders. And then as far as home systems, maybe Atari / the first Nintendo system. Now, as far as this week's major new releases, we have Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark for the Nintendo 3DS, the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4, the Wii U, the Xbox 360, and the Xbox One. Grind Autosport for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. And we have RBI Baseball as a download for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So that will do it for this edition of Action Video Game Talk. Once again, thanks for watching. I will once again be posting a link down below for the Facebook page if you want to go over there and follow what's going on. Otherwise, you can just keep an eye out on the YouTube page here. And then I'll be posting the separate video clips later on for the news articles. So until next time,